Join me today as I reset my home. We are going to be cleaning. I'm heading to the grocery store and I'm finding some really amazing deals, and I'll be sharing some tips on ways to eat healthy in a very easy and manageable way. I'm also going to be sharing tons of recipes and food prep, so I have a lot packed into this video. Thank you so much for being here, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a quick little reset in a few spots in my home, especially this room. This is our guest room, but I've actually been staying in here. I kind of moved into this room, and then I want to do the same in our living room, and then I'm gonna actually run to the store, get some groceries, and we are gonna make some yummy, delicious and healthy meals today, and I'm excited to share that with you. I'm actually so proud of myself because, as you guys know, like over the last few years, I've really gotten out of the habit of making my bed regularly. I'll get into it and then I'll fall back out of it and get back into it and fall back out. And I knew that I was gonna do a little reset in here, and I came in and I was like, oh my gosh, I already made my bed. So I'm patting myself on the back today. It really does make a difference, but I'm happy that I have actually gotten back into the habit of making my bed every day, and I didn't even realize it. So I'm super stoked about that, but we have a lot to get done. Let's go. So I know there have been so many questions about different situations, and I sometimes will answer in the comments, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into all the details of everything. I mean, I'm definitely not sharing actual details of the situations, but I have previously shared that at this moment, Kyle and I are still living in the same house, and that's not super ideal, but that's just how it's going at the moment. So for the time being, I have decided to move into the guest room. It's just been giving a lot more space between us, and I feel like it's just a lot healthier this way. So even though it's not ideal, it's worked out, and actually it just happened to be like a good situation that we happened to have gotten the guest room ready in the fall back when we were just having guests come over. Now it's nice because I actually have a door in this room and I can really just make it like my full bedroom, and it's been a lot more peaceful in here. And I also really just want to say a huge thank you to you guys. I know so many of you have shown your support in the comments. You guys have told me you're praying for us, and specifically for my boys, and I'm just so incredibly thankful for that, like more than you could even understand or imagine. So thank you so much for your unwavering support and love. It's absolutely felt and completely appreciated. Hello, sneaky shoes under the coffee table. Hello to Curious Felix, always finding out what's going on. And hello to my empty planter over here on the left. That is a sign that says one of my plants has sadly not made it. It's been struggling for a while, and you guys know, even though I love plants, I'm not the best with them. Like, I don't know all the things, but I'm doing my best. The good news with that is it means it's time to find a new plant to take this space, and that always brings me a little bit of joy. Now that the living room is all tidied up, I wanted to take a few minutes and of course have my robot vacuum run along and clean the floors for me so I don't have to spend any more time doing that. But I also wanted to deep clean our white chairs. I know it was risky getting white chairs and sometimes I regret it, but when they are clean, they look so, so good. And so I'm just gonna take a few moments to deep clean those while the robot vacuum does its thing. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that I've used Eufy vacuums in my home for the past year and they genuinely blow me away. I'm so excited to team up with them in today's video to share their new Eufy E28. I truly feel like they have mastered robot vacuums and I love that they have been adding in new features and making robot vacuums do even more and replace more cleaning gadgets around your home. So with the E28, it vacuums and mops your floors as you would expect, but they've actually added in a portable deep cleaner so you can carpet clean your floors and fabrics as well. This is the world's first 2-in-1 hydrojet floor washing robot vacuum with a detachable portable deep cleaner, and it comes with a compact style design and portable handle, making it really easy to tackle both hard floors and fabric surfaces effortlessly. It's also the first floor washing system in the industry to be TUV certified for deep cleaning. As you can see, it has absolutely no problem at all mopping large stains and leaving your floors squeaky clean. And just like other Eufy models, the E28 cleans itself while cleaning, ensuring it cleans effectively and prevents cross-contamination. Next, of course, is the detachable handheld spot cleaner. This is so nice because when it's not in use, it just sits at the base station, so it's not something you have to dig out of a closet, and it becomes one less item that you need to have or store in your home. And it also works simultaneously with the robot vacuum, so your floors can literally be getting vacuumed and mopped while you spot clean your furniture or whatever spot is in need. The vacuum itself has a super powerful suction and cleans edge to edge thanks to the unique square design, as well as the side brushes that get into those hard to reach corners. And a new feature that I haven't seen before is the anti-tangle roller design. It stays so nice and clean, so you're not having to fight tangles and rip out all the hair that typically gets wrapped around those brushes. This is especially helpful with pet hair and my own hair, honestly. But you guys are going to love this one, so I'm gonna have the link down below in the description box and the pinned comment for you to check out. And a huge thank you again to Eufy for teaming up with me in today's video.
Shows, yeah. Show me your weird and your dirty sides, and I'll show you mine. When things get crazy, or all is carefree, they know your fears and all your hope up. They guard your secrets. No need for asking, they just show up. Don't need no reason. Sharing the minds and sharing the dark days, share the joys and more. That's what a best friend. That's what a best friend's for. It's like you've been living inside my mind. The way you get me, you see parts of me I tend to hide. Yeah, we'll be acid weird twins like 101 times, and have so many jokes we'll forget all the punchlines, yeah.
All right, so today as I'm going through the store, I'm not gonna do a full grocery haul when I get home. Instead, I'm just gonna do kind of a shop with me style haul. This way you guys can actually see the pricing at the grocery store, and you can also see, obviously, all the items that I'm popping into my basket. But with that being said, I would love to hear how your prices compare. Now, keep in mind, Aldi is typically a much more affordable grocery store than really any other grocery store I've been to, but I'm just curious kind of how groceries are where you're at, if this is like crazy cheap. I think everything I ended up getting today was around $150, and it definitely would have been more at a different grocery store, but I'm just curious how that compares to wherever you live. Now, I do want to mention, as I'm plopping all this stuff into my basket, some of the things are for the kids. Obviously, I'm feeding, the entire family, but if you've been here for a while, you know that I have been doing clean keto for quite a while, and then for a while I was doing AIP like a couple years ago. I've been gluten-free. Like, I've done so many things because I struggle with Hashimoto's, which is basically where my body is confused and it constantly attacks my thyroid, so that's always fun. But I have done clean keto, and last year I lost about 50 pounds. And then with everything going on in my life personally, it's been on and off of like falling off the wagon, getting back on it, falling off again. This year I ended up getting back on it and was very good with it, but I actually had gained some of the weight back and I was unable to lose like really any of it back again. So I'm still at a better place than I was when I started, last year. But it's been just very frustrating to me because it's like I'm doing all the work and I'm not seeing any of the progress. Now, because I know that clean keto worked for me so well last year, I think personally it's because just like my level of stress and my cortisol levels are so high because of stress. And so at this point, I'm just actually taking a little bit of a break from keto just because it is so restrictive. And instead, I'm going to be focusing on making half of my plate full of low carb veggies and then just generally eating healthy, like very minimal or no sugar. And I've been doing this for just a few days so far, but I've honestly been feeling really good. And I've heard people say that when they heal, they end up losing so much weight because a lot of the reason that they were not able to lose weight in the past is because they were struggling with things emotionally, and your body, they say like your body, what is it? Your body remembers. I don't know. I can't think of the saying, but anyway, I'm hoping that that's going to be my situation. Like once the healing really starts happening, I will just start feeling better, fingers crossed. But until then, I'm just going to do my best and eat as healthy as I can.
Don't need no reason. Sharing the mindset, sharing the dark days, share the joys and more. That's what a best friend's for.
Also, I wanted to mention this dip right here is so incredibly delicious with veggies. It's amazing. So if you have an Aldi, go grab yourself the fried pickle dip. It's so delicious.
Do what you wanna do, and if it sets you free, believe in only you. Yesterday.
All right, it's a new day. I got this cute little shirt from the thrift store for like $3. It was such a score. The house is tidy, the dishwasher is running, and I'm ready to go ahead and get some good recipes made. That way, through the rest of the week, like I have things to pull out of the fridge. We have yummy veggies that are already prepped. I have some delicious recipes to share with you guys today. I'm so excited. So let's jump into them. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna make is some air fryer salmon. If you don't have an air fryer, it's actually fine. You can do this in your oven too. Adjust your timing, but everything else should be the same. This is one of my favorite things to make for lunch, for a quick dinner, especially if everybody else is having something that I don't really have, then I can just pop something like this in the oven. This is a pretty large piece, so I won't even use all of this in one sitting. I'll probably just let the boys have some of it. But it's so nice because it cooks in like 10 minutes. So all you need is a salmon fillet, obviously, garlic, whatever amount you want. You can also add in whatever seasonings you want, some oil. You can also use butter. And then I like to finish it with some lemon, just fresh lemon. I've shared this with you guys a lot before, but this is my little oil container. Okay, and also these oil jars, they are extra virgin olive oil. They, at least at our Costco, it was like $15 for 2 large ones of these. Such a good deal. So if you need some good olive oil, check that out if you have a Costco near you. But anyway, this little oil container, I love it because I just fill it up the lazy way right through the top. Whenever you're ready to use your oil, it has this little guy up top, which has like a basting brush. But then you literally just squeeze it up through the top, and then you can drizzle it on however much you want. And it's wonderful. So just wanted to share that. Also, all of the recipes that I'm going to share, I will have a recipe card posted up on the screen whenever I'm sharing the recipe, so you can go ahead and screenshot that and print that off if you'd like. Okay, so all you're gonna do to make this is you will just take your salmon fillet, you're going to lay it skin side down, and just to make life a little bit easier, I like to use these little air fryer basket liners. These ones don't fit perfectly, but they fit in here really nicely, and we have like the double-sized air fryer, which is perfect for a family. But then you don't have to clean your air fryer all the time. It's just so much nicer. So to cook your salmon, you are just going to put this, again, skin side down onto your liner or in your air fryer. Or like I said, if you're making this in the oven, then you can just put this on a piece of parchment paper on a baking sheet. Then from here, we are going to use some garlic. You can do fresh garlic, it's way yummier, but this is easy. And I am going to go pretty heavy with the garlic. But with this, I just wanna say, like, you can totally customize whatever flavors you want. So like if you want some teriyaki, you can add that on there. If you want like lemon pepper or like a blackened salmon, you can do whatever you want. This is totally customizable, and whatever flavors you're going for that night, it'll turn out beautiful. I'm telling you, I do a lot of garlic. Then from there, we are going to add a little bit of oil. You can also do butter. And then I like to put a lot of pepper. And actually, dill sounds so good to me right now. So I'm gonna sprinkle on some dill, just some dried dill, like garlic and dill salmon. It's gonna be yummy. And then we're just gonna place this right inside your air fryer. And we're gonna pop it in the air fryer for, I believe, about 10 minutes, but we'll see if it needs a little more or less time at 400 degrees. Also, quick note, always make sure you pull your air fryer out just so it gives it enough like space to not overheat, because I have done that once and it cooked my air fryer, so don't make my mistake. 400 degrees, we'll start with 10 minutes. I'm gonna let that cook and we'll move on to the next recipe, but I will show you the salmon once it's all done. All right, next we're going to make some animal crackers or animal crackers. I actually got this recipe from the Milkmaid Farm on Instagram. She has a ton of amazing recipes. She makes hers very cute with like little animal cracker shapes, and I do not. I've been making them just cut into squares and they work. And my kids are at an age they don't care what shape they're in, and so I'm like cutting that out of my life. So anyway, I'll show you how to make them though. They're very easy. They come together very quick, other than you need to chill them in the fridge. So we're gonna make the dough now and we'll bake them in a little while. So for this recipe, you're going to need all-purpose flour, coconut sugar or maple sugar. I'm sure you could use whatever regular sugar you have, just this is what this one calls for, and I happen to have all the random sugars that you could ask for. Also the flours, because you know. Then you're going to need some baking powder along with baking soda, 1 stick of butter, make sure it's softened, and then either some honey or maple syrup, cinnamon. This is going to give it the most delicious flavor, plus cinnamon has tons of health benefits. And then you're going to need 1 large egg along with some pure vanilla extract. That's all you're gonna need for these. I don't ice mine or anything. I feel like they're sweet enough as is, but they're so yummy and the kids just love them. So first we're going to grab the stand mixer, but you can definitely do this by hand if you don't have a mixer. Okay, so in a medium mixing bowl, we are going to start with 2 cups of your all-purpose flour. Next, we're going to add in 1/2 cup of coconut sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Then we'll do about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I will do like a heaping teaspoon of cinnamon just because I love this flavor. Then you just want to give all of your dry ingredients a nice mix until everything's nicely combined. Then we'll set that aside for a minute, and we're going to pull out our big mixer. And then into this, we are going to add in our 1/2 cup of softened butter. Oh my gosh. There we go. Along with 1/4 cup of honey. My honey is starting to solidify, but I'm using the rest of this one up before we go to our new stuff, and it works just the same. Then we're going to cream this together. Next, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract along with the egg. Then once that's all creamed, we're just gonna slowly add in all of our dry ingredients. Okay, so this is how your dough should be looking. It's not sticky at all. It's very firm. And also I just want to say this is actually a great recipe to double if you want. Because I'm making a lot of different things, I'm not going to double it today. Obviously I didn't. But now at this point, this is where we want to chill it in the fridge. So I'm going to take it out and see how like it all just clumps together like that very beautifully. Can you see the up close of that? Like how pretty that dough is. I love the coloring in it. But we're going to put this in plastic wrap or whatever you want, stick it in the fridge for about an hour to let it chill. Then we'll roll it out and put it in the oven. And I think the salmon's saying it's done. So for just a moment, we're gonna go check over on the salmon, see if it needs another minute or two. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. So it should be flaky inside. All right, I think it needs just a little bit more time. We're gonna put it back in for maybe 3 more minutes and we'll check it then. All right, I ended up putting the salmon back in for a couple more minutes because like I said, it was a little bit larger of a piece. So typically when I do this, it's smaller pieces and it just cooks in 10 minutes, but still it's like no effort. Let me show you what it's looking like because I just checked it and it looks beautiful. So yummy and it smells delicious. You just lift it right out. Air fryer is still nice and clean. Okay, it's okay. So this is like seriously huge, definitely way more than just one person. Now the skin is on it still, so I'm gonna have to take that off, but let me cut it up. See how delicious, like buttery and beautiful that is? Oh my goodness. Okay, this looks delicious, it smells delicious, and I made it a bunch of times, so I know it's gonna be good, but just so I make sure that I'm not telling you to make something that's actually not good, I'm gonna taste test it. So yummy. That is so good. I'm gonna add a little bit more black pepper, or you could do a little bit of like red pepper if you wanted a little, actually I might do that. Some little red pepper flake right on top just to give it a little tiny spice, but not much. And we'll try another bite with that. I love all the garlic that I added, it's so yummy. This is so good, you guys. You have to make fish at home if you like fish. It's like so much cheaper than getting it out anywhere. It's so expensive to get fish when you go out anywhere. You can actually cut this up and do it in like bites and put it on a salad or do whatever. It's just so delicious. And it's so quick and so easy. I feel like a lot of people, if you don't make fish at home or you haven't, it feels like an overwhelming thing. It does not have to be that way. It's so yummy. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna make is the pot and pan pasta. I found this recipe from someone that I started following on TikTok. Her name is Miss Emily Rose, I believe. She's so funny, but anyway, she makes amazing food. So over there, I actually have a pot of water boiling, and then in there, I just salted it and added a little oil. The oil is just to keep the pasta from like sticking to itself. And then I have a pan over there ready to go in just a moment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by chopping up a onion or a shallot, she said, but I just have onion, and then some cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, whatever you have, we'll slice those up, saute those in a little bit of oil. And then to that, I am going to slice up some sausage. She said you can use whatever kind of sausage you want. Basically, it's like, you can't mess this up. I love that. So I'm gonna do a spicier one since this will be not so much for the kids, but just to kind of like eat on during the week. So we're gonna go with that. You're gonna add in some sliced up spinach once all of that has sauteed down a little bit, and then you're going to go in and season it. So she said to season with garlic. You can also just use garlic seasoning, also some red pepper flake if you want it to be a little spicy, and then I'm just gonna add in whatever herbs I want. So this is from Costco. It's the Greek Freak seasoning. It just has garlic, onion, orange peel, tomatoes, crushed red pepper. Sounds delicious. It's obviously been a hit. I love this one, but whatever kind of herbs you want. And then once that's all cooked in, you're going to add your pasta into your pot with a little bit of that liquid. You might want to add a little bit of chicken stock if needed, and then we're going to add in some Gouda cheese and some Parmesan cheese. Now this recipe you do not need an actual recipe for, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it, but for the recipe card I will put a guesstimation of what I add in there so that you can have like a baseline of what to start with. Okay, it's been a little bit of time. The animal crackers are ready to come out of the fridge, and we are going to roll them out and prepare the dough. All right, so of course we have our clean surface. We're gonna dust this a little bit with some flour so it doesn't stick. We're gonna roll this out to 1/8 of an inch. If you're not sure if it's thin enough, I honestly would err on the side of going a little bit more thin. Otherwise, they'll end up kind of tasting a little bit cakey, which if that's your thing, that's actually totally fine. Okay, so now you're gonna want to line your baking sheet with some parchment paper just to help it from sticking, but you don't need much. And then I just use a pizza cutter and I cut them in strips, and then I'm gonna cut them into squares. All right, and we are just gonna put this in a 350-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes or until they are nice and done. And then we'll just let them sit on the counter and cool, and then you can pack them away, and they're so, so yummy. And they're actually filling because they're not packed full of fillers, it's like actual real ingredients.
Inside a prison view, 10 whispers or a shout, gunpowder if it's true, smoke before the fire, no one else can slay the dragon sleeping inside of you.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. Life's just been so much and I just cannot keep up every day. But we are on day 3 and we got a ton worked out and prepped in the kitchen. Today, I'm gonna finish up a few things. I do have to cook one item and then the rest of the things are actually no cook, which is so nice. I love that. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to be making some roasted veggies and share my favorite way to make roasted potatoes. I like to keep those in the fridge because the kids just snack on them and love them. They're so good. They're great for like breakfast starters, dinner starters, they're amazing. And then I also want to make some really delicious chia seed pudding. If you have never tried it, so good. And then I just want to prep out some produce because it makes the biggest difference throughout the week. Instead of grabbing crackers or snacks like that, we can actually grab produce and it's just like quick and easy. I can take it on the go. It's amazing. And it really doesn't take that long. So I'm going to share my favorite way to do that as well. So let's get into it. Okay, so we have a bunch of veggies. So we have green beans, zucchini, carrots, peppers, broccoli, onion, and then potatoes. I am gonna cook the potatoes separately, but I'm also, just for flavor, going to add some sausage into all these veggies. And I'm gonna start by preheating the oven to 400 degrees. So let's get chopping. You can do this however you want. I typically like to add all my veggies into a bowl. That way I can like really season it and coat it. And one thing that I will recommend is if you're doing a lot of prep like this, to get something, like get a little mixing bowl and just call that your garbage bowl. I think I learned that from the Food Network. And I love it because you're not constantly running to the trash with like little pieces. Also, I just wanna say you can take pretty much every scrap from your veggies, put it into a garbage bowl, and you can actually cook that with water and you get vegetable stock. So it just helps like stretch your budget a little more and decrease in food waste. Now with sheet pan veggies, you can really customize like whatever you have in your fridge, go to town with it, it's fine. If you don't like peppers, don't include them. If you really love asparagus, you can add that in, whatever. But let me show you this little trick that I found. So you know how it's kind of a pain to slice peppers? I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but I saw somewhere you can just take your pepper and then you flatten it and it just chops like so easy. And really the biggest thing with this is you just wanna make sure that you're chopping up your veggies into the same size of cuts. That way everything cooks really easily. So see how this is really round? I'm just gonna flatten it. It'll go a lot easier. Now I love doing this, especially if I prep this out. I'll just make a big batch of this. This can be a side to dinner. It can be a topping to your salad. It can go in with eggs for breakfast in the morning. You can just customize it, and you just already have these things and they're already cooked, they're already prepped. All you have to do is reheat them. They're so, so versatile. So I'm gonna cut up one more pepper and add it in just because I like pepper a lot. But then after I'm done with this pepper, I'm actually gonna add in sausage. At this point, you can leave it just a completely, totally veggies, but I'm gonna add the sausage, and I'm gonna do that for two reasons. One, it's gonna give it like really good flavor, and also the fat from the sausage is going to cook in and just make it feel very moist and like also very satiating, so that if I want to just have even this by itself or add this on top of a salad or whatever it is, it's kind of like a balanced meal versus just a side of veggies. And then this is the sausage I'm gonna use. It's just from Costco. It's like my favorite kind. So what I do is I actually will buy this when it's on sale, and then I freeze it. And then I'm actually just going to half these. Anytime you want to make your meat feel like it's being stretched further, I'm still adding the same amount in here. I'm gonna cut it into smaller pieces, and that way you'll get more of a sausage bite in each bite without having to add extra meat. So it really helps, especially if you're on a budget, if you're just trying to like save a little extra cash, which, let's be honest, who isn't? I feel like I always like sharing those tips, because even though sometimes it feels like, well, that's so obvious, why even share it? But there are so many times where a tip is shared with me like that, where it's like, that's so easy, but why didn't I think of it? And you just get stuck in your own routines of things. And if you're not being shared random tips, like you might just not think of it simply because you're stuck in whatever you've done before. So I share them. So you can see this is definitely still very veggie heavy. It's not heavy on the meat, but that sausage is gonna give such good flavor everywhere. The fat that's gonna render off of it is actually just gonna make this feel very moist, and it's gonna be delicious. This will hold over in your fridge probably for close to a week. Now from here, I'm just gonna add a bit of oil. So this is this is olive oil. Just drizzle it in there. You can always add more, so go a little bit more sparing at first. For seasonings, you can really customize it to whatever you want. You can add Cajun in here if you want it spicy. You can do garlics and aromatics. One of my favorites is actually just the Montreal steak seasoning. It doesn't have anything to do with steak. It's just like really coarsely ground garlic and pepper and onion, I don't know, all kinds of different flavors. It's one of my favorite seasonings ever, and that's always a really good one. That's what I season my potatoes with, and I think I might do the same for this, because it also just goes with just about anything. I feel like it's a very popular seasoning. So I will season a little bit in here, but then I am gonna season it mostly on the pan just because everything will be laid more flat. And then of course I'll add some salt and pepper. From here, I am gonna add just another drizzle of oil onto the top, and then I'm going to season it one more time, and then we'll add it into our 400-degree oven for probably about 30 minutes, and we'll see where everything's at. But everything's done once everything is fork tender, and your house will smell so good. About halfway through, I am gonna rotate the trays just so one's on the top and it gets flipped to the bottom. That way you have a little bit more even cooking time. But now let me show you how to make my favorite potatoes. They're so quick and easy and they're perfect to make ahead of time. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wash our potatoes, then we'll get to chopping. Okay, so we're literally just going to dice these up into bite-sized pieces, toss them into the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, it's fine. You can do this in the oven. If you do have an air fryer, do this. They're gonna be so crispy and delicious. But I also wanted to say, if you've been wanting an air fryer, but you don't have one yet, compare what size family you have with what size air fryer you get. In the past, I've had an air fryer that was probably for like 2 to 3 people, and it really was honestly pointless because it was like I would have to make so many batches of things in the air fryer, and it was like I might as well have just used my oven. It was quicker, easier, less inconvenient. This one, for example, is like an extra large or whatever you want to call it. You can fit a ton of food in here, and then it's just nice. You don't have to worry about preheating anything. If you use the little liners like I've showed before, then you don't have to worry about cleaning it constantly. It's so nice. Now, if you do have an air fryer, I would love to hear if you have a basket one like this, or if you have one of the toaster oven kind of air fryers. And I'm just curious, I've never had a toaster oven one, but I've been curious if you have had both, which one you like better and why. Let me know in the comments. And then also, if you have the toaster one, just let me know, like, what are some things that you like about it? What are some things you don't like about it? I don't know, I'm just always curious on those. Like, does it cook your food the same? Is it easier to clean? I've always had the basket ones and I've liked them. Really, my biggest thing is make sure you get the right size. Also, I want to say you can do this with whatever kind of potatoes you want. You can do gold potatoes, red potatoes, russet potatoes. You can even do sweet potatoes. Just, I would season the sweet potatoes a little differently personally. A little bit less savory maybe. But these are so great. You can make these now and then throughout the week. You can add them into egg scrambles. You can just have them like as a side dish with whatever dinner you're having. It's so perfect. My kids will even just heat them up like as a snack and just get like whatever favorite dipping sauce they have. But they're so versatile, and especially with how expensive groceries are, potatoes, you can't go wrong with them. They're so affordable still. Okay, so now from here we have all of our potatoes, a ton in there. And all I'm gonna do is add some oil to kind of roast them up and crisp them up. And then I just shake them. And then I'm going to add the same Montreal steak seasoning, and I will go in pretty liberally with this. I don't know. I feel like sometimes people under-season stuff, and seasoning is just where all the flavor is. You gotta go for it. Shake that up. Go a little more. I will say, if you do too much of this, it will be pretty spicy. It doesn't actually have spice, but it's just that it has black pepper. It's yummy though. Look at that. So good. So now I am going to put this in my air fryer for 30 minutes at 400 degrees. I might have to go an extra 10 minutes. It just depends, but these typically take like 30 to 40 minutes to cook, the potatoes and the veggies. I don't want you to just like shove it in your air fryer and leave it. I want you to come back just like once or twice throughout, pull it out and just shake them up. That way everything kind of gets rotated around. It's not a perfection, it's not an art. You just slosh it around and put it back in. All right, while all of those yummy veggies are cooking, we are going to make some chia seed pudding. If you have not ever made chia seed pudding, it's so delicious. It's almost like overnight oats, but a different texture. Just like overnight oats, you can totally customize it. So I have some little jars right here, and into this, you are going to put 3 tablespoons of chia seeds, along with 1 cup of whatever milk you want to use. I'm going to use coconut milk because it's low carb and it's delicious. I just love it. Then I'm going to just add a little drizzle of maple syrup and some berries. And I might even sprinkle some coconut flakes on top. That sounds super good. So that's what we're going to add into ours. Oh my gosh, yum, you guys. Those roasted veggies and potatoes are so incredibly delicious. It's like really not a lot of work and you get so much benefit from it. So definitely make sure you make some of those. If you make any of my recipes, I would love to hear what you end up thinking of them. I love sharing recipes with you guys, especially realistic, easy ones and generally healthy ones. And I just love hearing that you guys are making them and what you're thinking of them. So always let me know when you do that. But now I'm just jumping into some produce prep. We are not doing anything crazy, really. I'm just making one tray of veggies and then I'm actually doing one mason jar of fruit just so we have some quick snacking stuff. I love doing this with our veggies because otherwise I will have celery and carrots and everything sitting in our fridge and nobody wants to grab them. Nobody wants to take the 2 minutes to wash it or peel it or cut it up or whatever. But all of a sudden, if it's already done for you, it's like, oh, this is so easy. And actually it's delicious and it's just amazing. So I know that's just how it works in my house. Like we got to have this convenience food. It really doesn't take me a lot of time to do it right now, but it really pays off throughout the week. But I did want to mention this little food storage container. This is like a DIY veggie tray. I've had it for a couple years now and I use it constantly. It's so incredible. As you can see, it has these little containers inside and it just fits everything so nice in here and you can take them on the go. It's just really convenient. So I will link that one down below. And then whenever I do fruit, I actually have loved to start putting them in our large mason jars. But if you start storing your fruit in mason jars, you're going to see the shelf life of that fruit is going to last and last in your fridge. It stores them so beautifully and it's perfect because I feel like the size and shape of them is so versatile and they're incredibly affordable. So if you haven't started using mason jars for your produce prep, definitely try that out. It just blew me away when I started doing that a long time ago. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. I love videos like this where I just pack a lot of different things into one video. I feel like it's just fun to hang out together and I feel like we're just friends chatting. I really hope these recipes and tips that I've shared today benefit your life. I hope that you're feeling motivated to tackle whatever area of your home that you're needing to. And I hope that you know how incredible you are. Now, I did want to remind you to check out the new Eufy E28 down below in the description box. As always, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.